All right, we are into champion select as they immediately made the game and didn't take that many bathroom breaks. So we are into the second
Yay.
game of Cloud9 versus Velocity Esports, and it looks like we are going to see Jace banned out right away. Don't want to see him from last game.
Wow.
He was a great ban here.
Yeah, also seeing that Elise and Draven ban coming off targeted towards Cris and from Maple Street respectively there. So yeah, that sneaky caster on Jace really scary last game. Also the Rise being banned there. I'm not too sure who that is towards. As we did, like, there was a few lane swaps coming out. Like Balls is usually like the top laner with MegaZero coming in. It's sort of mixed up where everyone was going in their lanes and whatnot. Also, Kennen banned out definitely against the MegaZero there, who is really nice Kennen play coming off, and Shen just to be on that global pick. So still Thresh, Zach, Kha'Zix, this is Kha'Zix pickup. Twisted Fate not banned out, and looks like Kha'Zix will be picked up.
I wouldn't surprise to see Thresh and Twisted Fate picked up right here, which would give them an amazing set of lanes on the side of Cloud9. And they could easily use those lanes to snowball like they did in the first game. And it would also give them an amazing level 1 team fight, as Gold Card on top of the hook would basically spell doom for any and everyone on the side of Velocity Esports in a level 1 team fight. But they have the options available, and I think we're going to see one of those three champions you mentioned, Zac, Twisted Fate, or the Thresh, as basically they love playing those champions, and they rarely get through the pool, except when you have to ban out an amazing Jace, and there's the Zac and Thresh. So we're
Oh,
going
I
to see
called it.
we're going to see an amazing early game. The question is that going to be a jungle Zac, or is it going to be in the top lane?
We'll definitely see most. Well, I guess we'll see how it comes out with the pick. Zach definitely strong, and both of those he's just has so much sustain. Uh, as the jungler, he has a lot of gaming potential. Also, we're seeing this dash being played out here, so maybe we'll see more of those big plays with the hooks this time around, and hopefully a closer game. Of course, just Cloud9. They're playing so strong, and they're really trying to defend that undefeated title that they have so far in the ESL Pro Series.
And they're looking to really get ready for that LCS match they have up very soon. And they're looking in top form this game and last game, and they are going to be up against one of the people that are going to be playing the LCS, hopefully early on. But it looks like Maple Street's going to be picking up that Ezreal, who's he's incredibly strong on, or
Oh
maybe
no!
not, as they
Oh,
swap the
wow.
last second to Lulu, giving them a lot of options with both Lee Sin and Kha'Zix able to do a lot of things in every single lane.
Yeah, Lee Sin has gotten a little bit popular. I mean, and Second Diamond doing that 1v1 Lee Sin matchup and whatnot. And, we'll definitely see how it goes. Lee Sin is a really strong early and mid game champion. Has to be a little bit careful in the late game. We'll also be seeing if he decides to go like the heavy damage Lee Sin route or the tanky route. So the next two picks coming out for Cloud9 will be the Ezreal and the Twisted Fate.
I'm surprised Twisted Fate got let this far through the draft pool, as he's usually a first pick,
Yeah.
if not counter picked right away. But instead, we're going to see Cloud9 with one of the most overpowered teams at the moment, with both Ezreal, Twisted Fate, Thresh, and Zac. And whatever they decide to pick up last, I don't think it matters that much, as their team looks absolutely stunning. And maybe we'll even see a green build come out with Ezreal, as the rest of his team's a little green on the top two.
I guess to see that Reddit that about different builds for Ezreal there. However, just waiting for these last few picks. But yeah, Twisted Fate just being a really strong champion. He can roam a lot, has that stun, has the slow, has lots of damage and a mana refund depending on what he decides to pick out of his hand. Just has that huge little presence coming out. And looks like that Tristana going to be locked in there. Another favorite champion by from Maple Street. So we'll be seeing that coming into play. Just Tristana being such a strong late game champion. Seeing the dual Yordle down bottom lane. Also going to be seeing one Yordle. Looks like going up to top lane as Rumble is picked out most likely for the top laner.
And I think we're going to see the Lee Sin go very tanky based on what we've seen so far, as they really need an initiator on the side of Velocity. And Lee Sin does a good job of it, especially when combined up with Lulu. He'll be able to go fairly tank heavy, jump in the team fights, get popped up by Lulu, slow everyone down, and use that as their tank. And I think they're going to be just fine on the side of Velocity. They have Kha'Zix who can jump in right on after him, and it's going to be interesting to see how
Oh,
well they get those combos. And MegaZero
Zero.
gets to play Riven, so this is going to be an
Uh,
epic game.
oh, the newly crowned quote best Riven and a quote. Please don't make best Riven a change his name, but Of course, MegaZero winning that best Riven 1v1 tournament, so we'll be seeing him play it here. Possibly seeing some big plays. However, how do you think that matchup's actually going to go with potentially Riven versus Rumble?
It's basically in Riven's favor for the first few levels, just due to the fact Rumble has no real way to deal with her until he hits level 5, possibly even level 6, and gets his ultimate. But once he gets going, Rumble should have no real troubles against Riven. It's just those first few levels that MegaZero can really snowball that lane, take complete control over it, if they actually get to play up against each other. But it wouldn't surprise me if they do, considering Ezreal Thresh should have their way with Tristana Lulu for the first few levels, and I don't think they want to give up the double golem advantage on the side of Velocity Esports.
Yep, so you are into this 3-minute spectator delay. Can go ahead and take down those summoner blockers. Gonna be seeing Zach go in the jungle as he was talking about. Lee Sin in the jungle, of course. Pretty much other standard summoner spells. The AD carries Sneaky Hashra really likes taking that Ignite. Took the Ignite last game on that Jace. Meanwhile, Evaniskus picking up the Ignite. frommaplestreet goes with the Cleanse, and LemonNation not going for the heal this time, going for a little bit more aggression with that exhaust.
I like the decision here by Sneaky Castro to pick up the Ignite. Cloud9 is known for snowballing their lanes ridiculously hard, and if you can snowball your lane with the early Ignite, you don't have to worry about staying alive with Barrier. And on Ezreal too. He's the most survivable AD carry in the game, with the only exception possibly being Caitlyn. He can just jump around the entire time, shoot out those lasers, and really punish Tristana early, because Tristana's early game is not that good unless she has a really great setup, and Lulu's not a great early game setup. She's much more about poking people down, buying time for your AD carry to farm, and then going into team fights, as she is a really great support, but she's gonna have an incredibly hard time if LemonNation lands even one hook.
Yeah, so seeing as how that early aggression went last game, what do you think about that early aggression last game? If you missed it, it went 2-0 in favor of Cloud9, and they just snowballed off the rest of that. So do you think we'll be seeing any early aggression coming out of these teams?
Cloud9's going to invade, no question. That's possibly one of the strongest level 1 teams you can have, with the exception of not having Kha'zix. They're going to invade in some way, shape, or form. I don't see anything that Velocity can do to really counter it, outside of just landing a good Glitter Lance to prevent any engagements. They have a few disengage tools with the Glitter Lance, the Electro Harpoon, and Lee Sin just being a very mobile champion. So they should be okay, but I don't think they're going to contest anything, as a single gold card leads into a hook, leads into a knockback, and another stun, and just a massive amount of damage all those champions can put out at level 1.
So we are into the last few seconds, so everyone stay tuned. This is Game 2 of NESL Pro Series, Cloud9 Gaming versus Velocity Esports. Cloud9 took the first game, and they're trying to remain undefeated in the EPS series, so don't go anywhere. 30-second ad break, you won't miss anything.
Alright, and we are back from our quick ads as we get into the game, and teams load up incredibly quickly, as it looks like everyone but Zach and Thresh have picked up absolutely wonderful skins, and I don't blame them for not picking up skins on those two.
Not Rumble. Rumble has terrible skins. Thresh has a nice skin. What are you talking about? Thresh's skin is nice. He has a recall animation. He hops inside a chest of gold. It's great. Or he summons a chest of gold. I'm not too sure. I don't really remember. But anyways.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what they actually decide to do. It looks like we are going to be in the game, and we are going to see them take their time of actually moving out on the side of Cloud9. As they want to group up as 5, they're going to want to push these objectives very quick. And it looks like they're going to be going for that red buff to stop Lee Sin's early ganks.
Yeah, definitely. Just Lee Sin being such a strong champion early game, you really have to be careful of those red buff ganks. He has a lot of slows coming out, have a lot of early damage. And looking over at Lee Sin's team, I mean, there's a lot of people that can set up kills for him. Looks like Cris, Dennison's not going to be too close there. However,
nice play there by Lee Sin. Able to actually save his team as he spots out LemonNation. They are able to place the ward, and they're not going to have an engagement. If he was a little further over or was taking his eyes off the screen to crack a joke, he would have been caught out and it would have been an easy first blood. But this time, Velocity starts on even footing, other than they don't get a deep ward, which teams like to run. They actually place a deep ward in the middle of the lane, in the mid lane. They looks like they want to see where Twisted Fate's going. They want to see if they rotate back over, but it looks like a blue steal on the side of Cloud9 if they actually want it.
Yeah, they're just sort of grouping up here, traveling as a group, making sure that no one gets picked off here. Just lots of early wards coming out here. Evaniskus really poised up in front here. It has to be a little bit careful. It looks like Cloud9 are making their way back to this blue jungle, so we might be seeing this early engage here. Mr. Shot coming up to try to clear out the brush. She didn't hit anything, so they might have a little bit of false sense of security, as there is also Vileroze here to help out with this, and looks like they are going to be going for the invade. Might be able to catch off these three, trying to do these wolves from MegaZero going in. LemonNation goes over the wall, but the Q from Lee Sin follows, flashing over the wall, and that is down to LemonNation, and first blood coming off from MegaZero.
Excellent play there. Great delayed invade. They realized they didn't have any wards if they took the long way around. Perfect execution on a team that should not have had that early game advantage. But it looks like we are going to see a bit of a rotation over, as MegaZero has opted to start at the blue buff along with High. Is they're going to be actually trying to steal it away. Vileroze has picked up the Rumble and actually allowing Cris to go Kha'zix top lane. So it's an interesting choice of champions, as Rumble is usually the top lane specialist. But they decided Kha'zix was a better matchup, and I do agree with him there, as Kha'zix doesn't get bullied around as hard for those first few levels. They could always switch it up later on if they need to, but the first few levels are just so miserable for Rumble that they had to make the lanes, or they had to switch champions.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to see Vileroze playing off on that Rumble. Looks like, oh, hold on, down bottom lane, Ignite going off onto Evaniskus from MegaZero, getting on into there, going down for Sneaky, but the exhaust side, the Cleanse comes out, Sneaky getting really low from MegaZero, picking up the kill, gets the reset on the jump, more damage onto LemonNation, and so far, we're actually seeing the first two kills go down for Velocity Esports, so possibly a mirrored start for this game that we saw last game.
The only exception is Cloud9 is in the back seat this time, as Velocity's really taken great advantage, and Nick Inc. with another gank on mid lane, really wanting to make sure Balls has a hard time getting to 6, as he's done a good job of zoning out Rumble so far.
Yeah, and look at top lane, MegaZero having lots of difficulty versus this Kha'zix, and he just went inside the brush, went right back out, Ignite going off onto MegaZero. He does have to back up a little bit, so as you were saying, MegaZero definitely in a little bit of trouble as Riven versus Kha'zix.
It's a good decision, as Kha'zix really is beating this Riven pretty handily, as I don't think Riven expected to actually have to go up against Kha'zix. She was likely preparing for the fight against Rumble, so MegaZero is just going to be thrown off a little bit by that switch, and it's really showing, even though they are even in CS, but Nick Inc. is looking to change that, as he's really wanting to gank this top lane.
Yeah, he definitely wants to help out here, help snowball this Kha'zix. Kha'zix just has such a strong early game. You really want to get that going, and then he can just devastate. Looks like High coming off with the elastic slingshot, not going to be able to get the knockup onto anybody there. It looks like they will have to disengage off this. Actually jumping right back on MegaZero and High, both getting very low, but they're focusing now onto MegaZero. He flashes away, turning around to High. He does have those bloblets, so they will be going off, but they should be able to clean up this passive, it looks like. Picking up 3 of them. Oh no, but some of them might survive. And Cris getting way too close to the tower, gets stunned and taken out. High did go down to NK Inc. however.
NK Inc. with a good decision there to back up, but he got a little greedy and almost paid for it himself, as it was a 1-for-1 trade, and a 1-for-1 trade they can live with, as Cris is going to be able to come back in the top lane. He's picked up that tier, so he should be in great shape to just continue farming and pushing against Riven. The only problem is Riven's going to start that snowball, and if MegaZero can really get going, Kha'zix is going to be in a lot of trouble for these next few minutes until he can pick up his next item after that Tear of the Goddess.
Yeah, and the thing is, with MegaZero picking up the kill instead of, with MegaZero picking up the kill, Cris not picking up any kills there, it's like MegaZero picking up those double Doran's Blades, also a cloth armor, most likely just going aggressive. He has that aggressive build coming off. Cris has that Tear of the Goddess, so he doesn't have too much extra AD stats coming off, only going to have mana building up on him, so this could be a prime time for MegaZero to go aggressive onto Cris.
And it looks like we are going to see Twisted Fate under a lot of trouble in this mid lane, as NK Inc. is constantly pressuring him. and it's becoming a really hard lane for Twisted Fate. He's not level 6 just yet. He's going to be zoned out of getting level 6 quickly, and it's going to be very hard for him to find the ganks, as Rumble's going to constantly push that lane and constantly keep Twisted Fate at his tower.
Yeah, he's really just pushing up this lane right now. He just pushed it up really easily with the electro harpoons, with the flame spitter. If he goes over here, he has extra damage on his auto attacks. So, yeah.
All right, we need to pause it for 1 second. I'm getting a video glitch real quick, so we'll pause it at 6:30 so I can restart the client real quick. There seems to be just a glitch with the Riot client, so I'll restart real fast. We'll continue at 6:30 in this game between Velocity versus Cloud9. It's just a little bit of a game bug, so we should be back in just a few seconds. I do apologize for any black spots on the ground. It's a glitch with the Riot client. Nothing we can really do about it other than just restart the game. We'll be back in just a second as we go through the loading screen, and we should be good to go from there. Yep, and okay, it looks like I am almost back, and then we'll be back to Velocity versus Cloud9. This is the EPS, sponsored by the NESL. Thank you all for watching and standing through the quick technical difficulties. It should be over in just a second. And we'll flip to 6:30 real quick.
Yeah.
And go for it. Yeah, there we go. Everything should be good to go. 3-1 is the score, and about 1,000 gold lead for Velocity.
Hopefully we'll be okay, and I'm not too far off or anything like that of the stream. So looking over at other item builds here, the 42 pot actually being picked up by Balls on Twisted Fate. That's a really interesting pickup for him. Getting the extra health and AD does sort of help up his picket cards and his auto attacks and whatnot. So I guess we'll see how that comes into play. Meanwhile, top and King coming up onto MegaZero. He does have those dashes, but he's actually putting on his ultimate, trying to turn around to this one, picking off a lot of damage here. And King does have to go ahead and walk back. So no Riven ultimate, but was able to repel that gang without having to use any summoners.
He's done a really good job of applying pressure to that lane and keeping Kha'zix behind, as he's down almost 20 CS at this point. That Tear of the Goddess pickup not working out, as it's cost him heavily, as he was up in the early game. He's just not been able to farm effectively, considering MegaZero went for the early game build with all those attack damage items and a little bonus armor. Ball should be able to get going through this mid game with that Fortitude pot, as you mentioned. If he can get that, use the Fortitude pot to push out his lane and actually get some ganks off, he'll be okay. And that's exactly why I picked it up, for the ability to push out the mid lane and make sure that Rumble doesn't get him back at tower where he's been through most of the game.
And actually the ultimate being used by Vileroze, flashing in for Balls. Balls is trying to get out of this one. Looks like he'll be going into town. Actually, the gold card comes across, but AK got it there. Vileroze picks up the kill there. And now it's 4-1 in favor of Velocity Esports.
Excellent gank there by Lee Sin. He came in at just the right time. Twisted Fate thought he was safe to try and hit Rumble under tower, but Lee Sin got there just in time to land the shield and get the kill off. NK Inc. really making a lot of plays this game, and he's been excellent at rotating around the map, where High has not been able to get off any real ganks so far, other than the trade 1-for-1 up top.
Yeah, just looking really, really nice so far for Velocity Esports. Down bottom lane, haven't seen too much action ever since those first 2 kills. A little bit surprising. I'm assuming just the bottom lane for Cloud9 doesn't want to go too aggressive, as they do have 2 kills on from Maple Street there. They are pretty much exactly even in CS as it goes along. Rumble picking up the Haunting, guys. Really nice early aggression item for him, not too surprising at all. He just gets tankier, he has the magic penetration, he has more ability power. It's a really strong item on him.
And I think the reason they don't want to go aggressive is Thresh can't land a hook reliably onto this Tristana. And if they can't land that hook, they are going to be forced to just take the poke from Lulu and Tristana and continually be at that kind of 70 to 80% health range where you can't really go in aggressively. You need to be near full health if you want to gank, or it's going to be really hard to get things going. And Balls really needs to use his ultimate. It's almost 10 minutes in, and he has yet to pop a single ultimate.
Yeah, really just has not done too much with that. Looks like MegaZero going aggressive onto Cris up top, and he has that ultimate pod type for Cris. There's that stuff waiting inside of Thresh, and looks like they just disengage off of that one. And no, MegaZero has been trying to go aggressive here, but he's ahead in CS, so he should be okay. Looks like mid lane gank going off, double gank coming off, but the kick coming off from Lisa and Ball's going right into Vileroze, and Vileroze picks up another kill. He's now 2-0-1. Meanwhile, down bottom lane, box being used by LemonNation. Evaniskus is pulled in by the Death Sentence. Sneaky is just trying to go for Maple Street, flashing in there, puts out the missing shots, and the auto attack able to pick up Evaniskus, putting up more missing shots, trying to get onto from Maple Street, not going to be able to.
Excellent play down in the bottom lane. As everyone was low on the side of Tristana and Lulu, they went in too aggressively. They got baited in by Thresh. And overall, they were just a little bit stronger with that Ignite coming out from Sneaky Castro. And the fact he's Ezreal. And this is Ezreal's really time to shine in this 10 to about 30-minute point in the game. As he can really just snowball lanes from here. He was able to catch up even when he was down, considering he was down 2 kills. And they really need to make another kill or 2 happen on Tristana, or Tristana will outscale him, as Tristana is one of the highest scaling AD carries in the game with that rapid fire and incredibly long range, as it looks like Maple Street's under a lot of trouble in this bottom lane.
Yeah, ooh, I think you just accidentally hooked a minion there. Happens a lot where you think you're gonna hit it, but there's a minion in front of you. So you can't just back off of this one. Just doubly with Ezreal going to be coming off with that Spirit of the Other Lizard. Definitely a fine choice for his build coming off, just because he'll have a lot of damage coming off from the rest of his team. So, looking over the rest of the lanes, lots of magic penetration coming off this Rumble. Do you think he'll be starting to roam anytime soon?
He's going to roam at least more than Balls is this game, as Balls has not gotten a single gank with Destiny off. Vileroze has done an amazing job of constantly shoving that creep wave, then using his ultimate on top of him and keeping him at a point where he can't gank. It's an excellent counter to Twisted Fate, and he's up a good 10 CS. He's picked up several kills on Rumble, and Vileroze is really looking to carry this game off the back of shutting down the global pressure of Twisted Fate.
Yeah, and it's really, really strong coming up. Looks like there are wards coming off on Dragon. Won't be too surprised to see anything like that coming out soon. Looks like NK gonna be running into LemonNation are gonna be running into NK Inc. There's the kill from Maple Street, picking that one up. Ball's putting out the ultimate, however, on the other side of the wall. Might have been a little bit. You probably didn't want to go on the other side of the wall there, because he would have been around 4 people from Velocity Esports. But Velocity Esports just playing so well. They're picking off people, and they're definitely having a great early game compared to last game.
And this is exactly opposite of what we saw in that last game. As Cloud9 got off to a really good start in the first game and really snowballed throughout the rest of it, it looks like Sneaky's in a lot of trouble.
Sneaky's in trouble. The equalizer dropped, and Evaniskus picks up that kill. And just a really great game coming in there. Rumble. There's the roaming we want to see. And looks like a dragon might be coming up. Or not. They want to go mid lane.
They want to stop this push, as they don't want that tower down. If this tower goes down, Balls will have the ability to use his ult more effectively. As we've seen that one ultimate so far, and it was probably the least effective Twisted Fate ultimate I've ever seen. And it looks like up top, MegaZero is actually going to be going fairly hard onto Cris, as he's done a good job of shutting him down, but it has not been enough so far, as Cris is in a lot of trouble.
He's the ultimate. Jeez, look at Cris being taken down so low. MegaZero just playing absolutely aggressive here. High action coming in here for the kill secured. Cris flashing in. The slow's coming out. There's the lens bound still chasing after Cris. Will be able to pick that one up. Looks like NK is around. Not that she's gonna be able to do too much though. And looks like he will be going a little bit aggressive. I'm pretty sure High will be okay. He does have MegaZero coming in to back him up. So NK does go ahead and get back to a minion.
It looks like they want to continue this fight as Vileroze rotated in instead of pushing the pressure onto Twisted Fate. But they will be able to save this tower. Riven up almost 30 CS here onto Chris's Kha'zix. And that's really going to start to be a problem if Riven can start roaming around and making up for the fact that Twisted Fate can't really deal with this Rumble in lane. As we do see a blue buff steal happening, Riven is able to pick it up instead of giving it to Balls. Interesting play, and what do you think about Riven picking up that blue buff?
I guess either it's communication issue, that, or she wants the cooldowns. Cooldowns just being so useful on Riven, able to stand out those spells. Of course, she's Resources champion, but still provides cooldown reduction. So I guess it's okay if they decided on it. If not, I mean, it's fine. They took away a blue buff. that's still like nice for them.
Well, no one on the
So-
side of Velocity really needs the blue buff at this point. Kha'zix can use it decently well, but doesn't really need it.
Yep.
Tristana could use it, same thing with Lulu, but none of them really require the blue buff to be effective. So it's not a big deal, like denying Twisted Fate his blue buff, but it's still a big deal in terms of experience and gold, which Cloud9 really needs at this point.
Yeah, definitely just Cloud9 just not looking too good compared to last game. They're definitely on their back feet here. I mean, after such a
Down
strong
bottom, we do
last
see a
game,
big gank coming in from High, as he is able to jump over the wall, but it is not enough to actually get the kill, as Evaniskus uses the full kit of Lulu to stay alive, and up top, MegaZero's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they're going down onto MegaZero. I don't think they'll be able to get over to him. Just dashes away from the rim. There was a nice buster shot coming out of front Maplestreet down on bottom lane. Just put Zach right up against the wall and disengage off of that one. Looks like, is there going to be possibly? Yep, that is the Dragon start here, as they do have the bottom lane for Velocity Esports having to go back. Cloud9 starts on this, and they should be able to pick it up.
Excellent decision there to rotate into Dragons. They saw NK Inc. up top. They had Kha'zix up top. And with that free Dragon, that basically evens up the game, other than Twisted Fate's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, wow! The Resonating Strike just chasing after Equalizer, goes out, going after balls. There's another Q. Vileroze is now on a killing spree as he picks up another kill at 3-0-2. Oh man, he's looking so strong. He has 1,600 gold to spend, so that could be a needlessly large rod for more damage. Looks like a bottom lane tower. That is the first tower being taken down 16 minutes in. Much unlike last game, the first tower was taken on like 4 minutes in there. 16-minute tower here, bottom lane. Velocity picking that one up. The second tower also mid lane outer tower going down. Looks like MegaZero also a top lane going to be able to take down the tower for his team.
Small advantage there by Velocity, and they're only up 1,000 gold from all this. It feels like they should be up 2,000-3,000 gold at this point. But excellent play overall by Cloud9 to keep it this close despite being down 5 kills, down a Dragon, down an extra turret. And with all this snowballing going on from Velocity, it's not showing in the gold totals, but it's more of a game feel at this point. As it looks like Twisted Fate is, interestingly enough, not gone for the standard build. He's picked up an Abyssal Scepter first. What do you think about that?
I think he's really just scared of Vileroze there. He's really just been taking him out. I'm pretty sure, yeah, all of the kills that Vileroze has picked up have all been on balls on Twisted Fate. So I think he's just scared of the Rumble there, wants to get that magic resist. Also, it's a pretty nice item for his team in general. I mean, there's quite a bit of magic damage that's going to be coming out of High, and there's a little bit from Sneaky Castro. Looks like Vileroze are getting caught off, but the nice flash out of there was still down by the box. Just weren't able to get all the CC coming in there from Cloud9, so they were not able to go on for that one. Vileroze was just able to get out of that one.
Looks like Cris is setting up for a beautiful gank in this bottom lane as soon as Sneaky Castro comes in here and gets away from minions. And it looks like excellent choice to jump in there, and wow, he's dead fast. Or no, he actually doesn't die. Kha'zix didn't want to pursue.
Yeah, Sneaky was extremely low there. So, thankfully going to be able to get out of there. Oh, thankfully for him. It looks like there could possibly be a blue buff steal there, creeping up around this. They just have wards all throughout this jungle, around the jungle entrances, around this blue buff and whatnot. Looks like NK Inc. will be starting on it.
They have the complete control of the vision at this point, though they aren't able to actually see that ward in the brush. It looks like Twisted Fate is rotated top, and they're only going to be able to pick up 1 kill here, if they're lucky, as Evaniskus does a great job of just surviving this gank. He will eventually go down the Ignite, but from MapleStreet should be able to live here. Or maybe not.
The gold card coming off, and another start from MapleStreet. MegaZero just bursting him down. Balls picks up the double kill there, so 2v3 not going in the favor of Velocity Esports. There's also 2v3 down on bottom lane here. Velocity trying to push out onto the tower Cloud9, but not going to do too much. And actually, Velocity might be losing another tower up at this top lane.
And with that last kill up top, Cloud9's actually taken a 100 gold lead, and soon to be about 1,000 gold lead, despite being up 3 kills, and snowballing incredibly well.
Cris coming in down to the bottom, and Equalizer being dropped. Destin's coming up, pulls a minion. Looks like Kai wants to go in there with the elastic slingshot. Really can't do anything, as Velocity Esports was able to back out of there, but this is actually a gold lead in favor of Cloud9 right now, about 1,000 gold. Probably not that much, but still a gold lead.
Yeah, and it's really showing on the fact that they're able to finally get balls going on that Twisted Fate. The double kill up top really stopped Tristana from farming. Even though she is 3-1-1 and the high CSer of this game, it doesn't feel like she's that strong at the moment. She really needs to finish off that Infinity Edge to be powerful, as the Blade of the Rune King is just not enough for this mid-game, and Cloud9's really abusing the fact that Velocity hasn't put it together in a big team fight and got Tristana protected for a fight around something like a dragon or a buff, which they've been contesting the entire time.
Yeah, and it's just really nice sort of comeback-ish gameplay coming out, or not really just comeback-ish, but just strong gameplay coming out of Cloud9. You know, they were on their back feet. For one thing, MegaZero was really well played up at top lane, ahead of Cris on CS, ahead in kills too, and he's looking really strong throughout this game. He just went so aggressive. He has that Bloodthirster, has that Brutalizer. He's really gonna be someone they need to watch out for.
And if he can get going and get behind the fight, he can basically zone Tristana out of the entire engagement and allow his team to manipulate the rest of the fight. They can force Kha'zix away, they can push themselves out of the equalizer from Rumble. As long as MegaZero can get in there and make sure Tristana never gets going in the fight, they should have an easy time of running her through all the other ultimates of Velocity.
She's top lane, looks like Cloud9 trying to defend this outer tower. It is the last outer tower in this game here, so obviously it's going to be something that Velocity Esports wants to push down, as they do have 4 people heading up top lane here. They got a few wars in this brush, and looks like Sneaky Castro and LemonNation are in a bit of trouble here. Equalizer is dropped down. Sneaky Castro is taking a lot of damage, going under the tower. Ball is getting out there with the ultimate. Pull out to NK. Ink as he is getting tower shotted on. High gets in there. Balls goes down to from Maple Street. LemonNation throws off that play. Cris has joined the fight up. It looks like they might be going for the tower guy, but again as Cris goes aggressive. From Maple Street picks up the double kill. Now going for Sneaky Castro, and there's the kill for Vileroze. Now chasing after High, and looks like he will use the elastic shot to get out of there. Meanwhile, bottom lane though, MegaZero pushing down another inner tower.
MegaZero not getting in these fights has really hurt them, as he's their most farmed champion by far, and it looks like they're going to lose 2 towers in this top lane, as I don't think High can really defend this from the full aggression, as it looks like Maple Street almost went down to the tower.
Yeah, and top lane looks like they'll be able to take out their inner tower, so there'll be 4-4 in towers here. However, 2 inner towers down for or 2 lanes is pretty much demolished for Velocity Esports. Almost the same story coming out of Cloud9. However, they do have that bottom inner tower still left up. Dragon coming out from MegaZero. He's really securing these objectives for his team.
The problem is, as you said a moment ago, he hasn't been in these fights. They need him to get in these fights and make something happen. That was a 4v5 under a tower. Cloud9 had a good opportunity to make several kills, but Velocity just traded tower aggro perfectly so that no one was killed. They were all low, and they managed to actually finish the fight without any real significant losses other than those towers and the dragon in the bottom lane.
So looking over at these items, it looks like Runeborg finished up on NK Inc. He's going to be it looks like he's going to be going for the tank of his team, because so far not really anybody's building any defense items except for him. Vileroze went straight for that death cap, not going for a Zanya's Hourglass or going for a Relics Crystal Scepter, which are both pretty strong items on this round, but he's going for the straight damage build. It's really interesting to see, because Lee Sin's going to be pretty much only taking one on his team. However, I guess for Cloud9 they only have High there, so maybe that. But
well, they don't really need anyone tanky on their team on the side of Velocity. They have Lulu. She makes everyone super tanky with her ultimate. So Lee Sin's basically going to jump in these team fights, use his slow, get in really good position, then knock everyone up with the wild growth from Lulu. But it looks like we're going to see an actual fight in this bottom lane.
Yeah, High going on in there, has the last bounce going off, Equalizer being used. Velocity's going to try to get out of there, but MegaZero just doing so much damage. It looks like High might be taken out, and Ball's taking lots of damage. The box actually being used. Cris jumping right back in. Ball's taken out by Cris there, and that looks like it might be the only kill for a little while, as actually Velocity Esports, they ran away from that one. Didn't want to get CC too much by High and MegaZero there. We're just able to get out. They were able to turn around, pick up a kill, and now they're able to pick up that bottom lane inner tower, and looks like they're just going and keep on pushing out this bottom lane.
It was a great play there by Velocity. They were able to kite around with the Glitter Lance from Lulu and the rest of their slows. They just kited them around, let Tristana do her job of auto-attacking, and they really baited a bad fight by Cloud9. They only lost one for it, so it wasn't a terrible trade, but they lost the turret as well, and there's just a momentum thing at this point. They're only up 200 gold, but the momentum just feels heavily in Velocity's favor.
And definitely getting chased after is able to ward jump out of there. Looks like LemonNation did pick up that Oracle's Elixir. And heading around this Baron area, most likely just to clear out wards. I'd be really surprised if they did go for this Baron here, and looks like they won't. Definitely would not be a surprise. They're actually going to be going for Cris as Balls uses his ultimate to get in there, however, not going to be able to put any CC out onto Cris.
Good map awareness, though, to recognize that they were going for that pincer move and just jump straight back instead of trying to be really fancy, jump to the side, like we see a lot of players wanting to do, and really style up the escape. But it looks like both teams have picked up an Oracle's Elixir on their supports, so we're going to see them really vie for position on this Baron, and I'm not sure who's going to really have a good fight, as there's a beautiful use of the Rumble ultimate.
Equalizer coming down there into a lot of people where they really weren't able to continue to gauge onto that one. Elastic shot going off from MegaZero a little bit too far ahead. He will be going back. Cris is jumping in there. Absolutely gets bursted down. High picking up that kill, but the rest of Cloud9 is really, really low. High looks like we'll be going another passive is actually popped for him, and looks like NK putting the ward over the wall. We'll be seeing if he does decide to go for that one. Zach does go down. High picked up by from MegaZero, so 1-for-1 trade there. Cris and High going down, but looks like nope, just clearing out wards there. Of course, those Oracle's Elixir really just denying vision from pretty much everybody right now.
Good decision here by Velocity to back up. Play it like you're not going to do Baron. But they played it like they weren't going to do Baron, but instead they're going to rotate back in, and they're going to be able to pick it up. They have their jungler here, so they feel fairly safe. Nice dodge there by Ezreal, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to jump in there and steal with his ultimate down.
Yeah, I won't be able to. Rumble is able to pick that one up, so there's the Baron coming in at Velocity Esports. Gives him extra gold, extra experience, and just gives them that huge buff that they can have. Looks like, oh wow, the wind slash coming out from MegaZero, actually able to pick up Evaniskus there. A little bit unfortunate. MegaZero just, playing around there and able to close the gap, put off his ultimate, able to pick up that kill, so one Baron buff down.
And with that Baron buff, they should be able to finish off the last outer tower in the mid lane, possibly secure the dragon, which should be up in about a minute or so's time. And then they can start controlling more of the objectives. Deny Twisted Fate his deck's blue buff, deny the red buff away from Sneaky Castro, and make sure that they have complete control over the map. So that when they do take an engagement in the base, Velocity will be able to actually get a good engagement. As they've had some questionable engagement so far on both sides, is they've basically been trading 1-for-1 throughout the last few fights.
Yeah, it's been pretty even. However, of course, that Baron buff is down and picked up by Velocity Esports, so we really want to see them utilize that in the next team fight, or just applying pressure. But looks like lots of grooving by Cloud9 down to this bottom lane. I'm not too sure what they're trying to do here. Looks like just hanging about. They're gonna have Balls just really pushing that one up, and they're all going to be heading over to mid lane now.
Looks like they want to just get in there, and there's the engagement.
MegaZero going right out onto that one. Evaniskus getting taken out. Flash away from MapleStreet. High's going down onto him. Looks like they have enough heal from MapleStreet. The flash in this LemonNation not going to get to anything, but Cris goes down. LemonNation picking up that kill, and a 2-for-0 trade. Cloud9 picking up 2 people there.
Excellent play to realize that they were going to be pushing this mid lane. Dragon was about to spawn, which is why they were in that area, but it looks like we're going to continue the engagement, as Thresh does get a hook on Vileroze, but he might lose his life for it.
Yeah, he's going to be going down, does though at the box, but no one from his team really wanted, or at least it looked like they didn't really want to keep going for that engagement. And King trying to get into their flash, being burned by Balls. There's still wards for King to jump to, so we'll see if he does try to go for anything here. Looks like cannot really catch up. So
he was really close to catching up, but you can't tower dive at this point. And Sneaky Castro almost got bursted down in that fight by the full damage potential of Cris, but he just was a little short on damage. The big problem here for Cloud9 is this Tristana is getting big. As you can see her just absolutely shred this tower. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to deal with her in these up-and-coming team fights. Unless they can just find a pick-off on her, she might be able to single-handedly carry this game.
Yeah, but so far she's just been having so much fun. I mean, she has the flash, she has the cleanse. In the last fight, King went back to help her out. You know, he has the shield to go right straight towards her. Has the knockbacks, Tristana's the buster shot. So she has a lot of appeal, and hopefully they'll be able to utilize it when it comes into fights and they try to go for it, because actually the equalizer being used here. They're gonna be going down for this team by Cris being jumped up, going down to MegaZero, picks up the kill. Now Ball's getting focused down. Vileroze picking up that kill. Now High's being chased after here. Gonna be going down front of the street, picking up the kill. Before he went down, the Cake was able to get over to him. Sneaky Castro being, oh wow! The auto attack following through the dark passage. And Sneaky Castro goes down to from Maplestreet, and now that was a 4-for-0 exchange, and that is the team fight that Velocity Esports was looking for. They're able to pick up the first inhibitor, and they might be able to pick up a few of these Nexus towers.
They're going to go for the game. There's still 15 seconds on anyone on the side of Cloud9. That's enough with only LemonNation up. That this will likely go to the game 3 unless LemonNation does the unthinkable. Off the back of a beautifully played. Yep, this is going to be a game number 3. Excellent play there at the end by Cris to just jump in there, secure the quick kill on MegaZero, not allow the strongest champion to really do anything, and Velocity takes a win in game number 2. And let's see what happens in game number 3 of the ESL Pro Series with Velocity versus Cloud9. This is a game number 3. Make sure you tweet about it or tell all your friends or do whatever social media stuff you want to do. This is going to be pretty epic. Thank you for watching Games Cast by PanderNyrl. If you wish to see more, follow my YouTube and Twitch pages below.